And welcome on in. Julie Donaldson, joined by Logan Paulson and Santana Moss. So the first week of camp is officially in the books.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry. That's Trev, and that's the Stoner. We're a DC Sports Channel, and we're bringing you the best content about all of your favorite sports teams. Today, it is the Commanders, and a very exciting day for the Commanders, as it was the first day of full pads. And to add to that excitement, we're going to bring in none other than Julie Donaldson, the Senior Vice President of Media and Content for the Washington Commanders. Julie, thank you for joining us here on Ref the District, your second appearance. We appreciate you jumping on and engaging with us.
It's quite a welcome, I will say. I feel like I need to have my shoulder pads and helmet on to get into the show.
Well, it is an exciting day for the Commanders. We are going to real quick though. It's a very big sports day for DC sports, as Juan Soto from the Nationals was traded. How does that have? Is there any kind of ripple effect that it has across to like the Commanders and everything? Were you guys talking about it as is like blowing up today, or is it all business? Pads are on. Let's talk some Commander stuff.
I mean, it was mentioned in passing in the hallways. I mean, that's big news. I mean, you would have loved to them get to a deal to keep them. You want us to keep your star players, the guys that you bring into the team, but yep. It's the nature, it's the business. And at the end of the day, it's all about money. And I guess they decided it was just too much. So, I don't think it has any impact on what we do at the Commanders, but certainly you talk about some big moves because we all support each other. The Nats hopefully support us, and of course we support them. So we'll see. It's look, I got to host the parade for them a couple of years ago when they did the World Series, which was absolutely amazing. Yeah. But they're in a time of rebuild, so we'll just see how long it takes, especially when your star guy is now gone.
Yeah. Well, our star guy did sign. Terry McLaurin signed in the offseason, so at least we're good on that front for football. Trev's got your next question.
So it's training camp related. Last year in Richmond, I think a bunch of us could agree that was one of the best training camp experiences we've all had and been to. Getting ready for the rebrand, the new logo, all the new things coming. Now with all that here with this training camp, is there any difference? Is there more excitement, or is it about the same? So what's the atmosphere like this year with all the new stuff?
So, I mean, it's a transition, right? We haven't been in Ashburn for a long time. And when we did come back to Ashburn last year, it was still during COVID, so we weren't allowed to open it up. But look, I like Richmond. I know logistically it is a lot more work. It's hard for the team to be on the road. There's just so much more that goes into it, but it kind of feels like sleepaway camp, right? Like, okay, you're actually gearing up for something. We're here. A lot of us are at the practice facility every day anyways. We're like, it's another day at work. We just get to have more people around the building for it. So it's great to be able to have fans kind of coming out for it. But we've been kind of testing the waters and like what actually works. And how are we doing that? And how can we really maximize this, that it can be safe for everybody that's coming out, that would fit within the guidelines of what's allowed to come on out. So, we're trying really hard to make sure we get it right, that we bring the fans along with us. But it is great because officially football is back. It goes by so fast. Yes, but I love talking about it and seeing everybody out there in the new helmets. I think those are slick looking.
Yes, so good. Best helmets in the league, bar none.
Yeah, and now we've got a couple of months of saying Commanders, so we're ready to rock and roll.
So yesterday, Julie, Nathan and I, thanks to our friend and yours, Tailgate Ted, we were out at training camp yesterday. Got my tumbler.
We didn't stop by and say hi.
Oh,
wow. See, Julie?
See? Stalking you.
See the guys I work with?
I'm telling you, he was trying to get over there, but you were always busy. You're always engaged.
Oh, my
you
bro.
have work to do, and we didn't want to necessarily interrupt.
Rio got a picture. Got a picture. Bobby got a picture. Stoner, you come on.
He did. Bobby always does. Because Bobby comes up and says hi to me.
See, Stoner? I got a picture last training camp, okay? Because I went up and said, hey.
Hold on.
Just saying.
That's exactly what I was leading into here, is that I was trying to work my way over to talk to Julie, but every time she was on air live.
She was busy.
Doing things, right? Logan Paulson and Santana, right, was there with you. And then so I backed away. Next time I go check, she's gone. And so I couldn't talk to her then. So I never got a chance. But What do you think of that whole doing live while the team is practicing behind you and getting those guests? That's your first time doing that, right?
Well,
what's that experience been?
So we did live last year as well.
Okay.
And look, I come from broadcast. I don't want to age myself too much, but I've been in this business for over 20 years. Live is what you live for. It's what I love. I enjoy. Mentally, it's different. It's probably for the same of a player of, is this practice or is this a game? Your mindset goes into it a little bit differently. So I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I really love working. Logan Paulson is an absolute stud for us, man. He is so smart. He is all into the weeds on everything with this team. Santana Moss, I can't speak highly enough for him. And of course, it's great being able to get the players coming up to us each game or each practice, for that. And we're hoping that we're creating content that folks like. I mean, we've really worked hard to kind of get a new look, a fresh look, to really kind of update our graphics, what we're capable of doing. We've got a really great team of people putting the show together. So each show we're kind of stretching and testing ourselves to see how far we can go and put up a really great product. So I'm enjoying it, and I hope folks are as well.
And another reason, sorry, Nathan, another reason I couldn't get to you because you were all the way on the other side where all the VIP.
I'm telling you, he had like a personal Julie tracker.
Julie, I apologize for these lame excuses. I'm so sorry. I apologize for these lame excuses.
Sorry, Nathan.
well, you brought up
just do jumping jacks, cartwheels, or something, and I'll pay attention.
Very good. Jumping jacks, cartwheels.
He's going to get your autograph next time. Just going to let you know that right off the gate.
We're fellow Gators. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I know.
You brought up Logan Paulson, Santana Moss, and joining you there. Another returning, name for the Commanders is Ryan Kerrigan. What's it been like having him back around the building and helping around that camp?
It was so great. Like when he was first coming in, we're trying to keep this really under wraps, as we want to be able to make sure the announcement goes the way Ryan wanted it to go. He deserves that much respect. And it was funny. I was in the building and I see the whole team coming out and I'm thinking they're waiting to go into the meeting room. And I'm like, they are going to ruin our shot.
Right.
Like, they set everything up. So we have the videos playing of Ryan in there. And, you're thinking like you want the good welcome in. And typically, like when Jahan Dotson comes in, everybody tries to like move behind the cameras so you're not in the shot. So it's just Jahan and Coach Rivera or whomever. And then I realized, oh, wait a second, they came out specifically for Ryan. And it was such a precious moment. I mean, I get goosebumps kind of thinking about it now because it goes to show just the respect that he has earned within this club, within those that play the game. And just the way that they really celebrate who he is as a player. It's not just the fans that love him. It's those that play the game that love him as well. So many different players I talk to that had the opportunity to play with Ryan. I'll ask, different questions on like, who do you talk to or where do you learn or model your game after, or, especially come in. And almost every single one, especially in the defense or that D-line group, specifically will say RK. Because, he didn't get to play 193 consecutive games without knowing how to take care of his body. That is a testament to how he approaches the game. He made it clear he wants to get into coaching. So I think it's great that he was going to come back for that one day on Saturday. That Coach Rivera says, let's have you around here. Our D-line could use your wisdom and your leadership. Let's have you around, feed these guys, mentor them up, and see if coaching is really for you. Because it's coaching is tough, man. They're the first in at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., and they'll be there until 8, 9 o'clock at night, a good 6 days a week. But Ryan would be a great at no matter what he wants to do.
I'm going to transition away from training camp for a second just to get it back to you and what you got coming up. So you just got done calling games with D'Angelo Hall. Now you're about to start calling games with the Iron Man himself, London Fletcher. Can you kind of explain how you feel about that opportunity you've got coming up for you this season?
I love D'Angelo and I love London. Both of those guys are just great guys. They're great at their craft. I was disappointed when D'Angelo wanted to step away and do other things, in all honesty, because I loved working with him and I felt like we kind of were getting into a groove, and I just know he also has my back. And London's going to be great, though. I mean, I don't have to talk him up at all.
Right.
He wants this. He wants to work so hard at it. He's actually probably coming in tonight. So he's going to be out there at camp Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have the open practice at FedEx Field on Saturday. We'll be doing just what we did with D'Angelo and Bram and I when we first started is we'll be calling it off the television. to kind of see how we test each other's chemistry and rhythm, and when who interjects at certain moments. But London is so coachable. He wants to do it. He misses being at the games, on the field, with the players, with the coaching staff, kind of really getting into that. So I'm excited. Look, we'll see how it goes. Of course, there's a little bit of nerves of knowing, like, okay, the first few games, it might take a little bit to get into that rhythm. But we want it all so bad that it can't be anything but coming from a place of passion, which means hopefully the fans will feel that as well when we're calling those games.
So, Julie, I'm going to ask you. It's not a tough question, but it's a
I
good
know,
question.
right?
I'm nervous.
I know.
Just hang on.
Me too.
Don't get nervous. Don't get nervous. Has this organization? You talk to Logan and Santana, and you go out there and you watch the plays, and you talk to beat reporters and all of that stuff. Has this organization turned the corner in terms of stability at quarterback with Carson Wentz? Is there a different vibe in camp with Carson Wentz leading this team?
There is, but look, there's also a different vibe with Ryan Fitzpatrick back there, because you have a veteran leader. And I think that's one of the big things that this coaching staff really wanted is this team is very young. The offense is relatively young and kind of growing into their positions. But the one area where they really wanted to make sure they had somebody who had control of the playbook and control of the game is that quarterback. And to have that calm and that presence under center. And that's the one thing when you do talk to guys is Carson does bring that. He's going into that. And he also is in this place where, same as Ryan was last year, you got to have to earn it. Ryan Fitzpatrick bounced around like nobody's business in the league and really wanted to solidify the fact that he would have the time to start and earn his place as that starter throughout the entire season. Unfortunately, that ended just way too soon. But Carson's the same. He has to stay healthy in order to be effective. You're still kind of seeing right now, the defense is ahead of the offense. That is expected. These practices early on are kind of set up for the defense to have some early success as he's trying to figure out, guys flying at him. They only just put on pads, getting in his face under pressure, where he's going with that. So it's hard to get a legit, real hard read, but nobody is worried about Carson coming in here and being able to take control of this offense. The big thing with him is he's got to be consistent throughout the game. And I think that's been something throughout his career he's really had to work on. But they have faith in him leading this offense. They have faith in his leadership. As he says himself, he has grown as a leader over the years, having a family, being in different locker rooms, of understanding what is needed of him. So it's still very early on. And the pads only just went on. And I think as we get a little bit further into camp, we'll be able to see that offense start to click and get into groove a little bit more.
Julie,
that
Sam,
wasn't
little
that
disappointed.
scary,
It wasn't too scary.
Okay.
It wasn't. I'm proud of you, Stoner.
Thank you.
You didn't drop the ball on that one. Julie, you did drop the ball. However, you didn't say take command. You said you take control. I'm really disappointed. You didn't go with
God, y'all. What are y'all?
No, you brought up Jahan Dotson. A lot of people are really excited about Cole Turner. What have the rookies been bringing to their first NFL camp?
Dotson, man, I'm excited for him. I really am. Look, this is a player that they knew that they wanted and they were targeting very early on, which is why they knew, they would move back in order to get him to be able to make sure that he is their guy. So it was somebody that they wanted very early on. One of the reasons they wanted him is they felt that he was one of the most ready to come in and contribute in the league. And he's already showing that. Like, he's just, you want to say he's like another Terry McLaurin. He's quiet.
I said
he works hard. But but let's be real with this. Terry McLaurin was drafted in the third round to be a special teams player.
Yes,
Jahan Dotson's
exactly.
drafted in the first round to come in and instantly be a contributor in the first team on offense. Even if they start talking about how in college he'd return punts or whatever, they're like, we don't know that we want to waste him on that because we need him on offense to stretch the field. He's fast. He's got really good hands. He knows where to be. And he's just soaking it all up. So Jahan, I'm high on, and I'm excited to be able to see him be able to be added as a weapon in this offense, as we know that we've needed that help for Terry McLaurin. And then, if you talk about Cole Turner, man, he's looking good.
Mm.
You know, this is a
Mhm.
receiver turned tight end, and he has got height. And Carson Wentz, a lot of quarterbacks love their tight ends, right? I mean, that's not
Mhm.
just Carson that does. And reason being is because they're big, tall bodies. They're easy to see. They can get over defenders. And you're seeing Cole, especially like in the red zone like that, being able to go up there and really elevate himself. And he's got good hands, good route running. They're not asking him to do a lot of blocking. He's not necessarily that guy you're going to have out there for the blocking. But I do believe that he's going to be able to contribute, especially as we have to wait for Logan Thomas to get back on the field.
Yeah, I was going to kind of ask you that. Outside of the obvious draft picks and players from last year, is there anybody else that's kind of standing out, or if you've seen improvement from last year, whether it be Antonio Gibson or anybody like Daron Payne? Like, is there anybody that's standing out like you've seen progress from?
Yeah, I mean, Daron's on a mission.
Oh,
He's in
yeah?
a contract year.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
He's in a
he
contract.
knows it. I have a feeling he probably has that, like, you know, over his mirror in his bathroom, like contract
Right.
year, every play matters. You want a payday, this is what you have to do. But John Allen set the tone for that. Like, this is how you get paid. You know, you go out there and you don't give up on any single play. And he's in the backfield almost every single play, just blowing anybody and everybody up. He's got that athletic ability. Now he's got the mindset just really locking in. So really exciting to see him in this year for that as well. Look, you talk about AG and the growth from him. Like, he doesn't like being considered a wide receiver turned running back. He wants to be a running back now as he feels he's really kind of growing into his own on that. JD McKissick, glad he didn't go to Buffalo.
Yes.
He can line up all over the place. I never thought that was really going to happen.
Right.
So I'm glad that it did not. Because he's a guy in Scott Turner's offense. He can do whatever you ask of him. And he can
That's
make,
great.
you know, even today we had Charles Leno Jr. on the show, which will be out tomorrow. And he was talking about, like, JD's that guy. He gets the ball. He's gonna win whomever he's up against, and he's gonna turn what was a short gain into a long gain because he just has that ability to kind of like move, twerk, and get out there. So there's a lot of different guys that I'm kind of excited to kind of see and grow. We'll see a lot more as we do get further into pads, because I think it's not been the most fair assessments without the pads. And we just had day one of that, but this is the time to know what kind of football players you have.
Also, were you surprised with the Gandy Golden move? Was that
Yeah,
shocking
you
to
know,
you,
look,
or did you
I
see
mean,
that coming?
I talked to him straight when he was drafted out of Liberty, you know, and it is a smaller school. And while he was a stud at Liberty, you have to be realistic. In Liberty, he's going up against different players, and he's going up against the NFL. They beefed up. I mean, he got big, being a wide receiver turned to tight end. They really wanted to see how he elevated with that. I'm not going to knock a man for ever wanting to go back and continue their education. And I didn't talk to him. So the only thing I have to go off is what Coach Rivera said. But, you know, to make it in this league, you have to be more than all in. I mean, because it's going to take everything from you. And if there's a part of him that wanted to go back to school, then he did make the right choice.
Right.
Julie, my last question is not a question. It's actually a request. Would you mind talking to whomever you have to talk to? I don't know if it's any of the Martys or if it's Coach Rivera. Can we just see if we can't maybe bring in another linebacker? You don't necessarily have to sign.
Yeah. Do you know any
Maybe
rumblings
just-
about that?
Just bringing in
well,
another
I mean,
LB?
What I know is that we had thought early on in the season that is going to be what they were going to do and they were going to look to do. The fact that they have not, and it's not something that they still couldn't, right? But the fact that they have not goes to show the faith that they have in Cole Holcomb, in his growth and development, kind of taking over that Mike spot. I think Cole really likes that challenge and really kind of likes being that guy on the field.
It suits the mullet, that's for certain.
Plays. Yeah, like
Tar Heel, baby. That's what we do.
I think as Jamin Davis calls him, mullet man. He told me he was going to cut it off for his wedding, and then he decided, nah, I just can't. It's got to keep it. Like, I'm not sure I was going to look in a suit, but it's who he is, right?
Exactly.
His wife likes the mullet as well. I think she encouraged it to grow out. Congratulations for him on that, though. But you know, and Jamin Davis, you know, as Coach said, you can't teach speed. I mean, he's fast. He is athletic. They just have to be able to help get him to where, you know, and he said he's learning, he's getting a better grasp of the defense and what's asked of him. But this is a hard unit and room to really learn what Coach Del Rio wants of you, to where you're quick and you're thinking fast. You're not being, you know, having to sit back and you know, you hesitate for half a second, you're beat. So I think it's just getting Jamin up to that point. And then for them, a lot of times it's just going to be 2 linebackers and who's playing that Buffalo nickel position. And so
who's playing that Buffalo nickel position, Julie?
Got Cam Curl a lot of times in there, and and at times they also bringing in Benjamin St. Juste playing the nickel. But Cam Curl, like we talked to him the other day too. He's really like the stage has never been too big for him, despite being drafted in the 7th round. Coming in, obviously, when we kind of learned his name when Landon Collins went out. It's like, okay, let's see what this kid has been on the field for a play or two now, the majority of the time, and certainly we know his name now. And he's just all about it. And now he's talking about coaching up the younger guys. He's like, I like being in the box. He goes, but he also wants to go back and cover because getting those picks is he's like where you're going to make your money. But he's a guy that they can use in both positions. And Benjamin St. Juste, with his length, his ability to kind of like turn and pivot as well in that spot. So they've been doing a little bit of rotation there, but they use it a lot.
So request denied is what you're saying. Okay. I got it.
I'm just saying it's probably, I can say all I want. I have a feeling that they would be like, not listening to me.
Okay. Very fair enough.
Well, I want to bring this. I want to bring this full circle. We talked about Terry McLaurin being the star for the Washington Commanders that was re-signed. He missed out on OTAs. What's it like having him back here for training camp and very active and looking like Terry always does? Amazing.
Who doesn't love Terry? I mean, we knew that this was going to get done. It was just a matter of making sure you get the business side right on this. But look, they understand the value of Terry, the importance of Terry. And then also just kind of the same as John Allen getting his deal last year. You have to reward the players that are going about it the right way, because you need that example to the young ones coming in, or to whomever comes in here. Like, this is how you're supposed to do it. This is how you're a pro. This is how you approach the game as, on the field, as a leader in the locker room. And Terry McLaurin certainly is that. And of course, going to what you're talking about full circle with Juan Soto, you want to be able to keep the guys that you bring in here and that you draft. So I'm glad that they got it done. Terry's happy, so well deserved. And he can't undermine how important and valuable he is to our offense.
I've got one last question before you go, Julie, because I know you're so busy. We haven't even mentioned it. Chase Young. I mean, we see the videos. He's in high spirits. He's at practice every day, doing his rehab, encouraging the young guys. What's it like? What's his attitude like? And I know he just confirmed that he's going to miss week 1. Do you think it's going to be longer than that, or do you think a PUP list is possible, or just a bunch of questions about Chase?
What just said that we don't know. It could be possible. It could be IR. Like, we'll wait and see exactly where we are at that point and what makes the most sense for that roster spot that you need, and when he potentially could come in and be active and contribute. So there's still a little time to go before we probably get to that point, but they're anticipating him missing, a little bit of time. As the coach said, like, we're playing the long game here. Like, we want him around for 10 years, like, Ryan Kerrigan was, not just this season. And I think if anything, you need to make sure that you go about it the right way, that you're cautious, you're careful, but they're loving the way he's approaching his rehab. They love the way that he's coming along. You talk to the trainers, you talk to athletic staff, all of those that are working with him, and he's doing it all the right way. It's a big injury. He is in really great spirits. He comes right up and says hi to us almost all the time when he's around us, when he's, by, just such a respectful man, which again is another testament to the character of player that they have, just like a Terry McLaurin, just like a John Allen, of getting these guys that are just good, solid guys. They know what they need to do to go to work. It's unfortunate we're going to have to wait till we see him on the field. But he's around, he's active, he's with the guys, and he's, really enjoying being out there. And I guarantee when they do bring him out, you hope he's as effective as everybody wants him to be, but we're just gonna have to wait a little bit. How many? I don't know.
Yeah, we just need him healthy for that playoff push.
I got another one, guys.
Commanders are headed to the deep. Let's hear it, Trev.
Should we be panicking about Curtis Samuel?
No, because I'm told that we're not supposed to panic about Curtis Samuel. it's a different injury. And I think these are the things that if you talk to any trainer on groin injuries are tough. They're one of the worst injuries that anybody hates to have a player go through. Because there can be so many other things that potentially happen from it. So while he feels good and he says when he cuts and all that stuff, it's not his groin hurting anymore, there's going to be tightness in the low back. There's tightness a little bit in the hamstring. And so they just want to be very, slow and cautious in making sure that they bring him along the right way. They feel that they have this really under control for it. So I'm not going to press the panic button until I'm told to press the panic button. But I am the ever optimist, the glass half full woman as well. So, I'm buying, I'm believing, and I will speak it into existence that he will.
There we go.
Somebody contribute on our team. In the meantime, you have other guys out there getting reps, making sure that they have the opportunities to be impactful as well. And that is called, gentlemen, the nature of the game.
Yeah,
Julie Donaldson, the GOAT.
Julie Donaldson. Ever the optimist. So you have to agree with me here then, Julie. We're going 17-0 until you tell us otherwise, right?
Until they lose a game.
Right?
Why not?
Absolutely. It's Super Bowl bound. The Washington Commanders. You heard it here first from Julie Donaldson, Senior Vice President of Media and Content.
We are going into our 90th season here, and there's so much excitement because there are so many franchises out there that don't have 3 Super Bowls to celebrate. They don't have the legends to bring around, the Hall of Fame players to show off, and we're going to be doing that all season long. I just saw the list of honorary captains that's going to be to every single game. So, we are loading up on making sure those that played this game that are so great that won the Super Bowls are going to be around, and they're around the team, mentoring the guys too, and I think that's important. You have those guys with the rings on their hands coming in and talking to the players today to understand what it takes. So, it's the ultimate goal.
And we also appreciate. Yeah, I know, bro, because it's been a while. A lot has happened since we last had Julie on. So, the blackout nights, the whiteout nights, like all this fan stuff that's coming with all the games, that's truly appreciated. How did that come about? Whose idea was that?
I'm just sitting here. I was literally about to text Tanya Snyder and being like, because we were talking about like we need really cool ladies gear as well.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about it, and they got great stuff. We're just like trying to get it all out there. But there's stuff that's going to be like throwbacks that you're going to really enjoy. It's great to see fans out there. Like, we have like a little shop we're selling out. So it's so great that we're getting what we can out there. But I was even saying like, I need to go buy stuff because I'm running low.
Me too. You see
this rebrand, there's only so many polos and t-shirts to go around. But there's going to be some really great stuff coming that like, I hope I could get my hands on early just so I can rub it into all you guys. And
just send it. You can just send it to, I'll give you my address and you can just send me a replica or whatever.
I feel bad. People are asking me all the time, like, how can I get this? And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get it myself too.
Get in line, grab a ticket. Absolutely. Well, Julie,
credit card. I'm doing it.
Yeah, no joke.
We appreciate you jumping on here with us on Ref the District. This is Julie Donaldson. You can check her out on the Commanders channels everywhere. They do produce their own content for training camp. Of course, you can come back here to Ref the District. Check out what we're doing. We'll be live Wednesday at 7:30 talking more training camp. Stoner and I had the experience of going there, and we didn't get to meet Julie. We did get to see some good stuff, action going on.
I got to see Julie last year.
Julie Donaldson, Senior Vice President, Media and Content for the Washington Commanders. And until next time, be a fan.
Yeah. Come say hi next
time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Trevor here, 1/3 of Ref the District. Be sure to like and subscribe this channel for us, please. We greatly appreciate it. And after that, take a look at some of this extra stuff we got on our channel too. You don't want to miss it. And always, be a fan.